Welcome to Tournament Central. Nate Perkins here with an interview with your now two-time Music City Open champion, Simon Lizotte. Simon, you were sick, you were having migraines, your back was hurting,
I still am sick.
and you finished with, I don't know if anyone's told you this yet, Simon, but this was the highest rated tournament of your entire career. 1065 unofficial rating right now. That's your memorial finish from 6 years by one. Unbelievable.
Yeah, Nate, thank you. First off, unbelievable. I agree. That was crazy. That front nine kind of blew my own mind there. That was wild. But this is actually my third Music City Open win. I think I won in 2015 when it was a smaller A tier or B tier. I think it was an A tier. I don't really remember. A long time ago. But wow. Wow, I said it in my post-run interview, like I can't explain how it happened, what happened. I feel like I'm the same player that I was 5 weeks ago when I was finishing in 30th, 40th place. Things just started going my way, and the other guys struggled. And I'm so proud how I kept it together round 2 and round 3. After the hot start, it was all about just keeping it together. And besides that lonely bogey on hole 16, that was my only kind of blemish for the whole tournament. Man, I think I could have played my first ever bogey-free tournament, which would have been another stat to get, but bad wind read on that one.
Oh man, it just barely bled into the OB as well. Yeah, unfortunate that you couldn't keep it clean. But, you know, Simon, you've always kind of been one to kind of chalk it up to some other force that's out there kind of guiding you through this. You say, hey, it's, you know, sometimes I get lucky, some other people get lucky. Champions, they come and they go. But are you at all able to kind of bookmark the mindset that you had this week so that you can tap back into that in the future?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I feel like if I could, I would have been doing it for the last 10 years of my career. I've actually felt physically so good the first 4 tournaments of the year, and just nothing was working. Like sometimes the putt go in by an inch, sometimes they miss by an inch, and the error you made was like quarter of an inch, and that's just such small differences in a great round versus a bad round sometimes. And
Well,
it
Simon,
just
I
all
want
came
to talk
together
to you.
this week for me.
I want to talk to you about your putting performance this week, man. I mean, you couldn't have drawn up a better advertisement for the Pixel than just a wire-to-wire victory this week. I mean, it just didn't seem to touch the ground. Can you talk about how you and MVP developed that putter, why you ended up going with such a deep shape, and how it compares to other putters that you've putt with in the past, and how you've been able to figure it out so quickly?
Yeah, the Pixel is basically a hybrid out of all the discs I used to putt with when I was playing for Discmania. We have the P2, the P1, the P1X, and I basically handed MVP's disc designer my old discs, and I was like, let's make kind of like something like this, but of course in our own way. And he made me a prototype, and it was kind of love at first touch. Just absolutely nailed it. It is not the greatest putter in the wind for me, which is maybe why I was struggling this season so far, because we've had so much wind. But a little calmer last week and this week, and the putts had way more confidence, way more drive, and yeah, really can't complain at all. Love that disc.
Oh, I mean, you totally found your stroke this week. And from, my perspective, it kind of looked like your routine was quickened at all. Did it feel like you were putting faster this week than in previous tournaments this year?
Not really, no. Maybe slightly, because I felt like so locked in. If you make enough 25 to 30 footers in a row, you just kind of like step up to the next one and just go through the motion real quick and just don't. My goal was to not let my brain catch up with my putt, if that makes sense.
No, I love that. That must be nice. Your brain didn't seem to catch up with your body at all. It just carried you through this entire tournament. And Simon, I know that your family's growing this coming week, and it's a special occasion. It obviously makes sense for you to be back home with Natalia. How difficult is it though to take off the major next week when you've got the hot hand right now?
Full honesty, pretty easy. Um, Timing, of course, right when we found out about the pregnancy, we knew it wasn't going to be ideal. But I am so stoked to get a spring and an early summer back home in Massachusetts because I'm so rarely home during those beautiful times of year, especially after a long, cold winter up in New England. And just knowing now that I have 2 months off, the weather will be nicer with my family, meeting my daughter, and just being part of this like life-changing moment. I mean, this is way bigger than a disc golf tournament to me.
Oh, it's special, Simon, and a special moment to be taking a title back home to your family that's growing this coming week. I'm so happy for you. I know a lot of disc golf fans out there are happy for you. You've always been an easy guy to root for, and just the attitude that you carry on the course is an inspiration to many, myself included. And my last question for you is about uh, when does a disc golfer really reach their prime? We heard Eagle McMahon talk about how he feels like it's kind of a teenager's game these days, but I feel like you are still reaching your prime. Do you feel like, the mindset of a golfer is best in their late 20s, early 30s? You feel like it's a teenager sport?
Nate, I don't know anymore. So many crazy things have happened in the last 2 years. I I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it's 35, maybe it's 40, maybe it's 15 in the future. I just know that the young guys, AB Gamber, Kyle Klein, etc., it's like those guys are absolute machines, and if they're on their game, then no matter what age you are, it's going to be hard to keep up. And as long as I can keep up, I will keep trying.